arrangement that we have on Diego Garcia basically has kept the global community safe since 1973. It's been in some jeopardy because of rulings in the ICJ and the United Nations. That's why the last government began negotiating a new deal for the Chagos Islands. They went 11 rounds in negotiations. We picked that up. We came up with a deal that was supported by the Pentagon, the State Department and the White House. It's right and proper that Donald Trump looks at that deal and is confident about that deal. But I would say that this has been through an interagency process in the United States, and I suspect he will come to the same conclusions as the last administration. This is an important ceasefire, and I absolutely welcome those three young women, and particularly Emily Damari. I've got very close to her family over the last few months, coming out yesterday. But I'm thinking of the 95 hostages that are still held. This is a fragile deal. It's important that we get to the second and third phase. We need a political process. We've got to roll up our sleeves. Israel's got to have security if it's going to step back and out of Gaza, of course. And if we are to reconstruct Gaza along with Arab partners and others, we've got to be sure that in 20 years' time this isn't happening again. That's why you need a political horizon, and our belief is you only get that through two states. It's always horrible and aggressive to see men waving Kalashnikovs in that way, but it underlines the fact that military endeavour alone was never going to eradicate Hamas. That can only be done by a political process that gives the young men, particularly of Gaza, hope and opportunity, and that's why it's important to get to this next phase and to be sure that the international community is supporting both the Palestinians in the PA and Israel to come to a better permanent settlement that keeps them both secure and safe, but heads to that two states. Well, diplomacy is often failing until it succeeds. Last week when we got that ceasefire, it was a success. I think it was important that Donald Trump and Joe Biden were able to act together to get this over the line. It says something about bipartisan spirit. And in a sense, all of us now must roll up our sleeves to take on this most intractable of problems, a problem that's gone on now for almost 80 years, and to get to that political horizon that brings peace and opportunity to the wider Middle East. TikTok is a matter for the United States. Of course, here we've been clear that within government, TikTok is not allowed on people's devices, but for consumers, they're able to make that choice. But we monitor very closely national security interests, and we'll continue to work with colleagues in the States on these issues.